percent on this phone, this here phone. I can't wait. I do got a charger cord. I guess I could pull out my charger cord. Hold on. Oh man, it's 2 o'clock Friday. Feeling good. Leaving work. Um, a little sick, but hey, it's Friday. TGIF for real. Um, oh, they're gonna open the bowling alley. Look at that. Open Thursday through Saturday, 3 to 7. What type of hours is that? Wait, 3 to 7? Is that 7? I might not know how to tell time. 3 to 8. No, 3 to 10. Okay. I can't tell military time. Uh, 20. Okay. Yeah, that's 3 to 8. 3 to 8 is a weird time to be open. But I guess they did their research and they figured out that people normally go to the bowling alley, um, and they get a little hungry, and so they centered that around food and eating. I guess that's a good idea. But man, uh, so I was feeling very not like going to work today, in my fields, and I was thinking about um, how um, sometimes you can believe the story that people tell you. Um, if you listen to a story long enough, you will start to believe it. And hey, in the chat, um, I ain't talking about nothing. I'm just shooting the breeze. But yeah, if you listen to a story long enough and you internalize it, sometimes you can make what that person's saying, whether it's the truth or not, you can make what they're saying true, emotionally. That's like for a little kid that hears, um, "You ain't never gonna be nothing." If you hear that over and over and over, and eventually the kid starts to say, "I ain't gonna be nothing anyway, so I might as well just fulfill that." Um, and so, basically, this administration, oh, that thing went up from 2 to 36. That's crazy. This administration, I just been feeling this way, me, because I'm leaving work, right? I work for the military, but um, this administration has just been saying like merit, merit, merit. Thank you for the thumbs up. CNDMR. Who is this guy? What is going on here? Nothing. Shout out to Gerard. Big up, big up. I'm gonna give him a shout out. I'll give you a shout out too, D Bapto. Um, and so, um, but yeah, the administration has just been like really, really on this tip of we're getting everybody out here that doesn't deserve it. And it seemed like the people that they're getting rid of is people, no problem, Gerard. Hey, Saniha Kumari. Um, where's that name from? Did I pronounce that right, Saniha? I hope so. um, but yeah, so I've just been hearing the messaging, and the messaging is you ain't blank. Um, and so blank is an expletive. I don't cuss. So, um, but you're nothing. And I've been seeing the firings. It's been like minorities or black people or women. Um, and then the person that has been going into positions most of the time is like um, white men. And so I carried that. I was like, oh, okay, well, um, maybe, you know, but um, So I prayed about it, and I was like, all right, well, don't forget your why. You know, my family is my why. I gotta go and get these. Hey, Ray Hain, Das. Um, I thought about my children, and I thought about my wife. I said, well, you know, the bills aren't gonna pay themselves, and I can't make. Um, you speak French or English? No, I don't. I don't speak French. Some would debate if I speak English or not. I probably speak AAVE. Um, but so, anyway, I prayed about it, and I ain't gonna lie, I was still feeling a little down. But I was just gonna go to work and just do whatever. And the thing that got me feeling down was because so I go into the place, and um, I'm a nice person. And so I try to have fun wherever I work. So I might throw out some jokes here and there, and I just like to have a good time. Um, but it just seems like the people that I work with, I don't know, maybe we just not on the same wavelength. And so, um, thank y'all for them thumbs up. Um, it seems like we're not on the same wavelength. It's like they don't get my humor, I don't get their humor. We're different. Um, and then just like the climate is like really polarized right now, where like at the beginning, after the current president took office, um, he kind of started putting out his policy, and everybody, I was just watching how people responded and how people acted, and I saw our military leadership. They basically fell in line, like as military should, as we normally do. So this is the direction our commander in chief is going. So that's the direction we're going. Get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So let's go ahead and do that. And um, to me, it was just like that's what you were saying: diversity, equity, and inclusion. But really, it was like black. Are you in the DMV? No, I'm not in the DMV, but I'm from the DMV. So that's very perceptive of you. Um, you're probably looking at the surroundings. No, this is Montgomery. I'm actually in the deep south. Um, but yeah, so the people that I work with, they're just like we're not vibing, and I'm used to vibing everywhere I go. So I'm like it ain't me. I know it's not me, but the messaging, a lot of the messaging that's been coming down from Air Force leadership and what have you, everybody they put it in the chat. And so there's like this chat, and everybody's talking about how they feel. Everybody's like, I don't see any problems with it. Everything is good. Everything is great. And me, I'm just looking at the stuff, and the policy is like it's about like shaving waivers. It's about um, things that historically impact black people. Let's just be clear. Shaving waiver historically impact black people. And um, so they're like, oh, I don't see it as a problem. Now you clearly see it don't look like I shaved, right? Because I didn't, um, because I'm on a waiver. But you know, like we talk about emotional intelligence in the information that we teach. Like that's a part of our um, curriculum at the schoolhouse, and we talk about emotional intelligence, and it's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to have it. And I was just like, okay, all right. Cool. So it doesn't. So whatever the changes that they've been proposing, it don't impact you. Cool. Got it. You don't care. But I mean, empathy, sympathy, none of that. Nothing. You don't feel anything. You don't see how that could be kind of construed as messed up. Like the policy, um, So there was one administration, I think like it was probably like 8 years ago, where because the policy basically reverted to what it used to be. And so 8 years ago, they decided, you know what? We hear you, black man. We hear you, minorities. Um, Going every year and having to redo and re-up this thing like your condition magically goes away every year, and having you come into the office to like get another waiver is a waste of everyone's time. So we're gonna allow you guys to, once you go in this waiver, we'll just have you redo it every like X amount of years instead of annually. I think it went to like 5 years or something like that. And so some people, they come into the military and they're only going to do one tour, which can be less than 5 years. And so in my mind, it freed up operationally because hey, we don't have to spend appointments and we don't have to spend time doing this. And so in addition to saving time, it also was something for morale where it didn't feel like um, you were being punished because you were getting this type of medical waiver. Um, but I don't know. It and so now they're coming in there saying, well, we're getting rid of that and we're gonna do an overhaul. So when you go to your annual review for your shaving, for your health assessment, your shaving waiver gets reset. And so basically that initial training that you had to do where they try to teach you how the correct way to shave because clearly you don't um you don't know how to shave, and that's why you're having problems because you weren't taught. um I guess that's the assumption. But I mean, they had me try to go through all of this stuff, and I did everything the way they did it, the way they told me and the way they taught me, they showed me, and I still got the same result. And so, somebody once said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And so I guess we're returning back to insanity. Now, me, like, I get like, you can probably see like a little, like scars or whatever, little small scars, melanation, hyperpigmentation, whatever you want to call it. I get that. But some guys, like, they like keloid. And I'm a guy that keloids. And I like, let me see, since we're in the sharing mood. Uh, I'll show you like an example of a keloid. Y'all see that bump right there? Can you see that bump on my shoulder? Like that right there, that's a keloid. That's a keloid. That started out as a pimple, right? Um, and then I scratched it, and that's what it turned into. That huge bump. That can happen on my face. I don't have any right now. But you have probably more than likely saw a person that had a big nasty bump on their face, and you were wondering like, "Ew, what is that?" That's what it was. It started out as a little razor bump, an ingrown hair, and then because you had to shave it, you shaved it again, and voila, we got a reaction, and now that thing is about to blow up on the side of your head. Somebody, Hillbilly Man says, until we have our own living space separate from whites, we will always have to deal with people like Trump. It doesn't surprise me how he behaves. See, um, I don't think Trump is uh, the source of the problem. Honestly, because before Trump, we had these issues. But I hear what you're saying. These issues of like racism and white supremacy and all of that stuff. But um, I do believe what you just said is accurate because he represents such a large personality that you have people that will basically um, buy in and feel empowered to spread their hate and their toxicity because it seems like, hey, that's what he's doing. But I don't know. I just become as a military person, I become good at not seeing some of the stuff you just don't see it, and that ain't the answer really. But that's kind of, the answer really is like what you said. You get your own space. You have to get your own. And if you don't feel like dealing with it, we'll get your own. If you don't like the military, we'll leave it. Well, that is a sentiment. You could do that. Lots of people do that, but me, for my current situation, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it moving because after a certain amount of time, you get what's called a pension, and so I'm working for my pension. And once I qualify for that, it's deuces. And it was a pleasure to serve with the people to my left and to my right. Um, you know, you're not gonna agree with your leader every time. How many of y'all agree with y'all boss 100% of the time? Sometimes your boss does stupid stuff. Sometimes you like this boss is an idiot. Or sometimes you really love your boss and it's a pleasure to come to work and everything is good. I would say right now it's one of those times where it's like I'm in the press because again, I didn't want to go to work today, but I'm in the press. I started all of that to say, because I'm home now, I'm about to end the live, but I started all of that to say, Chat GPT came through for your boy. Um, I have a subscription to Chat GPT. It's AI.